Thank you, Peter Baum. You will stay with us for our next news. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the war with Iran has opened new doors for peace. Speaking Thursday, he called it a victory that must now be used to expand regional diplomacy, including a potential broadening of the Abraham Accords to Saudi Arabia and even Syria. Netanyahu said the war, alongside the fight against Hamas and the effort to free hostages, creates a window that cannot be missed. Israel Hayom reported that Netanyahu and President Donald Trump agreed on a possible 2-week timeline to end the war in Gaza, a war that's lasted for more than 20 months, killed thousands, and left most of Gaza's population displaced. The report also suggests Israel may back a future two-state solution provided the Palestinian Authority undergoes reforms. But that's drawing strong rejection from far-right Israeli ministers who say a Palestinian state is off the table. Netanyahu, however, insists Israel's position in the region has strengthened and called this moment a tectonic shift in Middle East politics. Let's listen in to what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said.
במקורותינו כתוב, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אנחנו נלחמנו בעוז נגד איראן והשגנו ניצחון גדול. והניצחון הזה פותח הזדמנות להרחבה דרמטית של הסכמי השלום. אנחנו עובדים על כך במרץ. לצד שחרור חטופינו והכרעת החמאס, יש פה הזדמנות, חלון הזדמנויות שנפתח, ואסור להחביץ אותו. אסור לבזבז אפילו יום אחד.
Now we have guests joining us for this discussion. Peter Baum, he's a foreign editor in Weekly Blitz. Thank you, Peter, for staying with us. What is your reaction towards what may happen in the coming 2 weeks? Do we see some hope, and do we see some light in the exit of in the end of this tunnel?
Look, there must always be hope whilst people are talking to each other. If we go back to October the 7th, if the Israelis thought then that after that devastating blow, nearly 2 years down the road, the Hamas, the Iranian defensive shield of their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis and Hamas, had been totally defeated, which they have been, and Iran herself had been dramatically weakened by both Israeli attacks and US attacks, I think the Israelis would have undoubtedly taken that position on the chessboard. The fact now that Syria the overthrow of the Assad government was an actual bonus for the Israelis and her allies. The fact that the Assad was acting virtually as a proxy as well for Iran, and the fact that that regime has now gone and that a new regime has come into place and is even talking about being part of the Abraham Accords, if that actually happens, that is a major, major political win for Israel. Now, the quid pro quo of that is the two-state solution, which I thought, I must admit, was actually dead. I could not see how any Israeli government would even contemplate a two-state solution. The Palestinians themselves don't have a united government. They're in two separate territories, what you call the West Bank and in Gaza. And the fact that the Netanyahu is contemplating it, again, I think is just for the birds. I think he's probably making the right sounds for the global media, for the United Nations, etc. But I do not think it's practical for a Palestinian state to come into being, this so-called two-state solution, for years ahead. I just don't see it, if anything, because the Palestinians themselves are so divided. And the fact that Israel, despite Netanyahu's comments, really does not want another hostile state on its borders.
Thank you very much, Peter Baum, for joining us and sharing that insight with us. Now we move on to our next news.